All right, here we go. Back to business here. We're actually starting the semester with a concept that really none of you have ever covered. It's not an Algebra 1-2 topic. You may have seen it on your calculator, the buttons for it and all that, but it's probably something you really haven't dealt with before. So I would lock in pretty good here if you have to rewatch this. It's a very introduction to this concept today, so it's nothing too crazy. But this is what we're going to be working on for the next week and a half. So if you can get a good foundation started, you'll be happy that you did. So what I'm talking about here is logarithms, and we'll probably call it logs for the rest of the time, but I figure I'll give you the fancy word the first time, logarithms. And you've probably seen the button on your calculator, the log button, but maybe never knew what it was all about. So let me show you. Let me show you through some example problems. And so here we go. Every log has a base, and so this is going to be the base. And so this is saying we want to find log base 2 of 8. And it's actually really simple. What this is asking us is the base 2 to what power equals 8. Or in other words, if we were trying to solve this problem right now, we're looking for something, we want the answer to this problem. This is just evaluate the problem. Like there is an answer, there's a number that this is right here. And all we're really doing is this question mark over here, we're saying to ourselves, 2 to what power would equal that number 8? And so you kind of have to know your powers a little bit, or you can just sit there on a calculator and keep multiplying by 2 until it equals that number. So the answer to this problem is obviously, for those of you who already are ahead of me here, is 3. The answer is 3 because, so log base 2 of 8 equals 3 because 2 to the third power equals 8. So it's like a check for you. Once you write it, you can really see it here. Once you write it out with the answer sitting there, that's your big check. It's you kind of like a little circle here. You go this to the power of this equals this. This to the power of this equals this. If that's not true, then you're wrong. Simple as that, okay? This to the power of this must equal this. Well, there's your introduction to logs. We started with a real basic problem. In fact, all the problems today are pretty basic. Let me show you another one. Here we go again. Okay, we're asking ourselves 10 to what power equals 100. And so all you're really trying to do here is you want to put a number right here so that the base of the log to the power of that number, not multiplied, to the power of that number equals that number. And so 10 squared equals 100. 10 times 10 equals 100. It takes 10 multiplied 2 times to equal 100. So we're done. The answer is 2 to that problem. Today's lesson, all we're doing is we're taking a hunk of log stuff and we're just giving it an answer. We're not trying to solve any, there's no x's in here, we're not graphing. We're going to get to all that, but we're just trying to get the basic idea of logs. I would encourage you right now even to get out your calculator. Well, maybe not yet. Hold on, let me show you some other things. In fact, this is a good time to show you an important thing. On your calculator, you have a button called log, L-O-G, okay? Your calculator it won't let you do every base in the world. This is log base 10 here. Your calculator button, log, is log base 10. It won't say it there, but it is every time, okay? So there's not, I mean, they could have just written a little 10 there for you, but they don't. You're supposed to know that the log button on a calculator is always log base 10. So in other words, if you want to take a second right now, you could, on your calculator, just type, press this button right here. It'll type out log, and then put 100 there. Do log of 100, and when you hit enter, it is going to say 2. And you can kind of play around with that. I mean, log of, I'll give you another one. Oops, no, we'll do it. Hold on. So, log base 10 of 1,000 is going to equal 3, because 10 to the third power equals 1,000. So you could try that on your calculator too. Just type the log button and then 1,000 right after that, hit enter, and it's going to spit out the number 3. So goof around a little bit, and I'm going to keep moving on here. All right, next one. Next one, we're asking 2 to what power over here would equal -4? So some of you will be tempted to put -2. So I'm going to put that there for a second. It's not the answer. I'm just going to tell you right up front, it's not the answer, but here's why it's not the answer. If you put -2 there, then remember this, the base to this power should equal that number. So in other words, 2 to the -2 is supposed to equal that number -4. But a negative exponent, I know it's been a couple weeks of vacation, but a negative exponent does not make this -4. It makes 1 over 2 to the +2, which would be 1/4, which does not equal -4. What am I getting at here is the question, okay? What I'm getting at is that there is nothing you could put here in the whole world that 2 to any power, doesn't matter what the power is, whatever number would be the power of this 2, it's never going to give you a log, it's never going to give you a negative number as your answer, because negative exponents don't make negative numbers, they make fractions that become positive numbers. So I'm trying to tell you is there is this problem right here, doesn't equal that, right? This problem right here has no solution. And in fact, you can never take the log of any negative number. You can't take log of negatives. So anytime, if you ever, and it won't happen a lot, but you'll see it once in a while, I just don't want you to get tricked. That if that number is negative right there, then there is no solution to the problem. Doesn't matter what that base is. Okay. Here's a similar idea here. Once again, we're looking for something to go here so that when we take 3 to the power of something, it'll equal 0. But I'm pretty sure the only thing you guys would even think about putting there is 0. But 3 to the 0 isn't 0. 3 to the 0, just like anything to the 0, is 1. Anything to the power of 0 is always 1. So what in the world could you take 3 to any power of that it would equal 0? Remember, we're not multiplying this times this. It's this to the power of this has to equal that. And there is no power of something that equals 0. So once again, no solution. So building off that concept, now you see here, if you have a log base something of 1, if this number is a 1, then all of a sudden this does make sense, and the answer is 0, because 4 to the 0 does equal 1. This works. This to the power of this has to equal this. Or in general, log of any base, let's just call it any base b of 1, always equals 0. That's a rule. That's probably your first rule you need right there. So this is just an introduction. That's all I'm going to do today. Just a nice short video, get you guys started. The homework's pretty simple. We'll talk about some of the little details in class. Probably get the calculator out a little bit and show you that. But that should get us going a little bit, so you know what's happening with logs. Reminder for this semester: you're always welcome to look up other things on the internet. If you want to type log or logarithm on the internet, you'll find tons more stuff. Just depends on how much you feel like you're struggling. If you feel like you're getting it, then move on. Let's just come to class ready to work on some homework. But if you feel like you're not getting it, use all the resources that you have to not fall behind for the semester. All right, I will see you soon. Work hard, be nice, and I'll see you in class.